So I want to start with Jorrel Hato, just to tell you the story that anyone who's saying Liverpool should buy him to play centre-back, that might be his career trajectory. That might be how he establishes himself as a first-team player. But playing for Ajax last season, as you can see from this slide, the first one we're looking at, his positions played is he plays 27.2 90s at left-back, 0.7 90s at left wing-back, so call that 28, and then 2.9, so call that 3 90s at left-sided centre-back. He played left-back last season. Now, there may well be a journey, there may well be the idea of get him in and he can do a bit of both. I'm perfectly happy to hear those arguments, but so far his professional career has been that of a left-back. And then we get to see that against a full-back radar, he is exceptionally exciting, and he also profiles a little bit like the sort of centre-back that you would imagine could do the business at, sort of left-back who could do the business at centre-back. His aerial win percentage for a full-back is really, really high in there as well, but we can also see he can pass the ball. Open play, XG assisted is strong. Deep progressions, you maybe like a little bit more, and there's not quite enough passing OBV, but he is only 19, and the fact that he is excelling the league average in so many other areas says he's a real player. I asked them at StatsBomb to give, obviously I don't have the Eredivisie data, but I asked them to pull out by the standards of a centre-back what it is that he's got. And we can even see there in terms of the league average, he is stronger on aerial win percentage than the average centre-back. That is often one of your concerns with someone moving from full-back to centre-back, and I think especially coming into the English league, although it's not quite as agricultural as it used to be, but it is noticeable that so many of the players who win the most aerials week in, week out tend to be attackers. So he's done well there, Hato, on that metric. But ultimately, so far, his career has been at left-back, so it's worth bearing that in mind. The next one I asked about was Ousmane Diomande, who plays for Sporting in the Premier League. He's an interesting player. If you have a look at his slide here, he's obviously very young. He is almost like defending rawness. He's as raw as it gets. He's 95th percentile for aerial wins, so he's brilliant in the air. He is, does a strong number of aerial wins. He can power forward with the ball, 92nd percentile for dribbles and carries. He's tackled dribble past 90%, 95th percentile, so players do not get past him. It is an extreme performance in those areas and then a very non-extreme one everywhere else. You get the impression when he wins the ball back, he just gives it simple and goes from there. We can see his being pressure changing passes actually a little bit better than the league average, but he is a little bit raw. You can see it in his fouls. It's 13th percentile for fouls. I don't think he's being asked to clear the ball. And this is when we come back to what it is that is being asked tactically. You know, it's not a lot of clearances there from Diomande, but it may well be that Sporting, being one of the more dominant teams in Portugal, they don't want him just sending the ball away to try and look after it and go from there. He's a really interesting prospect, I think, for the future. Obviously, he wouldn't be homegrown in this country, but he is quite a fascinating one. The next one I wanted to look at was Lukeba, who's playing at Leipzig in the Bundesliga. And he's a little similar in one or two ways to Diomande, but in another way he isn't. You look at him here and he's really low on aerial wins, really doesn't win many of his aerials, really isn't very good as an aerial win percentage, but he's clearly a footballer. He's got strong on ball value, strong on the dribbles and carries. He's really low on fouls, so he doesn't dive in and go from there, but he's not even himself particularly high on percentage adjusted clearances. But tackled and dribbled past, another strong performer. Defensive action, on ball value, a strong performer. This is a good player. Move forward and put him on a radar that I created for the sort of player who could play that left-sided role. We can see as well, really strong on deep progressions, heavily left-footed. You can see that in there as well. Tons of carries, 96th percentile for carries. And he's really strong as well on possession-adjusted tackles and interceptions. You know, you're looking here at a very, very good central defender at everything bar heading the ball. And that would be your concern, you know, coming into this league. He's weak there on that. 55% of his aerials he wins. That isn't good. It's 17th percentile by the standards of a centre-back. But in every other regard, he's clearly a strong centre-back option. The ones we've The other one I wanted to point out is a lad who's at Udinese, called Oumar Solet. He's much thought of, and again, he's another extreme version of one who's clearly a footballer, not very good in the air, up against the league average even in Serie A, but not very good in the air, full stop, but really strong on-ball value, great at dribbles and carries. Look, when he gets pressured, the pass percentage does not weaken from him particularly, especially by the standards of centre-backs. That's really good, 94th percentile, gets his blocks in, is pretty good at not being dribbled past and tackled, and has on-ball value with his defending. But he's another one, and this is a bit of a trend of defenders who are not strong physically in those aerial duels. The way Liverpool play, how important that is, I think it's very important. You may not, or you may think it's something you can compromise on. Let's look at Big Virg, because we're going to move into the Premier League players now, and we can see when we look at Virgil van Dijk how much he just sort of pops. The aerial win percentage is 96th percentile. It's exceptionally strong. Very rarely fouls, is very rarely dribble past or anything like that. There's an interesting little thing on being pressure change in pass. He does struggle a little bit in that, more than I expected, I'll be honest with you. But I suspect that often leads to him choosing just to sort of go long. It is interesting that he's high on the possession adjusted clearances, Virgil. He's quite happy that the ball just goes. He plays for Liverpool. The job of Liverpool is to win. It's not to look nice. It's about sorting that out. But Virgil, we can see how he just sort of pops in this. I hope you're enjoying this free show at the moment. Loads of excellent, exciting stuff on the Anfield app. If you want to be part of the whole thing, you can download the Anfield app and go from there. Or you can subscribe via the YouTube membership as well for video-only content and other bits and pieces. We love doing these shows. We love that you watch them. So come, be part of the journey with us.